Here we will be talking about NCTM Illuminations, which is a project designed by the National Council of Teachers of Mathematics. So, as it's stated on their website, Illuminations works to serve you by increasing access to quality standards based resources for teaching and learning mathematics, including interactive tools for students and instructional support for teachers. And throughout the site, this is done by lesson plan suggestions, interactive games, as well as different activities with guided instructions and questions included. I would say that this site is most useful to teachers because there's so many different aspects that they can bring back into their classrooms, but there are definitely many components that students can take advantage of as well. So in order to get to the website, you search illuminations.nctm.org and it will bring you to this homepage. And the first thing that you see are the features. So the features can be anything from certain games they want to highlight or new lesson plans that they're bringing to Illumination so that teachers are aware of what to look for and kind of just getting a preview of what they could be doing in their classroom. And when you scroll down, there's a Bright Ideas sign up. So this is a monthly newsletter that you can sign up to receive. I think that this site is very easy to navigate because the language is simple. So the main tabs here are just lessons and interactives, and that's exactly what you would think they'd be. And then over here, there's a search bar, and everything is separated by grade level, content area, and standards, and whether or not you're looking for a lesson or if you're looking for interactives. So I think that that's probably the most useful part of this website for a teacher because you don't want to browse through a bunch of information that you're not interested in, but by here you can select the specific categories that you're looking for in order to direct you to the right place. So the first tab is lessons, and when you click on the lessons tab, you can see that it's sorted out by grade level. So let's say I'm going to teach a lesson in 6th to 8th grade. So I click on it, and there's a variety of different lesson plans, and let's say I'm interested in the celebrated jumping frog. So the first thing that you see is the instructional plan. And the instructional plan, it kind of tells you what the lesson is and how it's going to be implemented into your classroom. And the cool thing about this is that there's additional tabs. So the next tab is objectives and standards specifically related to the lesson that is being talked about. Next is the materials for the lesson, assessment and extension options, questions and reflections, and then related resources. So in this case, the lesson is related to spinning tops, which is also a 6th to 8th grade lesson. And when you look up here in this lesson corner, you can see that the frog lesson is 1, and when you click on 2, it leads you to the spinning tops, which means that this lesson is a good follow-up to the previous information that the kids learned. The next tab is brain teasers, which are basically fun little scenarios with questions to think about, and you can print off the problems and the solutions to make copies for your classroom, and they're over a variety of different topics. The next one is success stories, which is a nice feature where teachers describe something in their classrooms that worked well or just something cool that they want to share with other educators. So in this case, this teacher did a lesson on the golden ratio, and she had a plan, but the students were very interested and kind of took it in their own direction. It ended up working out very well. So it's kind of just like a little motivation for the teachers or tips on what you should be doing in your classroom. The next main tab is interactives, and the first one is mobile apps. So it starts off with apps for your phone, and then as you go down further, there's different apps for computers or tablets. So whatever technology you have available in your school, there's probably an app for it. And the next one is Calculation Nation. And once you click on calculationnation.nctm.org, it takes you to a new page, which this is a site where students can sign up for an account, and it's an online math challenge site. So the students compete against each other using their math. So I feel like this would be cool in a classroom because students would use it as motivation to compete against one another. The next interactive are your e-examples. And e-examples has different activities to work through, and with each one there's some interactive elements such as a graph or tangrams to move around. So let's say I'm looking for something in grades 6 to 8. So there's many different options, and let's click on investigating connections between measurements and scale factors of similar features. So when I click on it, it brings me here, and you can manipulate this, make it smaller, change the scale factor so the students can explore the math, and there's instructions on how to use the specific tool, questions to think about, and then related resources, but in this case there are none. And the next one is Web Sketchpad. So I'm going to go down to Web Sketchpad. And this has a lot to do with different shapes and altering them to explore relationships or the problem being asked. For example, I think it would be very helpful for a teacher to demonstrate constructions in geometry, because by using the technology, there's more precision in the angles and the lines, so it would be a good way to demonstrate to the entire classroom. Something cool about this site is that the different resources are connected. So let's say I'm doing a lesson regarding measurement in 9th to 12th grade. So over here, I'm going to search for that. And it didn't work, so I'm going to try one more time. And so here it gives you the different options for what you selected. And let's say I think my students are going to be interested in the impact of a superstar. And it looks like this is a lesson all about the line of best fit and looking for outliers. So the connection that I'm talking about is when you go down, it gives us 3 different resources to use with the lesson. The first one's the data we're going to use, and it'll give it to us in an Excel sheet of the information about the basketball players. The second is the actual activity sheet that you'll provide for your students. And the third is the line of best fit interactive. So this lesson that is on the Illuminations site connects with one of their interactives so that the kids can plug in the information in order to see the relationships on the graph. But one issue that I did run into on the site is that many of the tools that accompanied the lessons I was unable to open because I did not have the correct version of software downloaded. Like Java, I needed to update because it didn't allow the apps to run. So this is an issue that teachers should be aware of that they may run into in their classroom. And another thing is, for the lessons, I feel like there should be a space for teachers to leave comments or suggestions, because there's always improvements that can be made or things that went wrong that you can comment on to allow teachers to do the lesson and have it run more smoothly in the future. But overall, I think that NCTM's Illuminations is a very great resource for teachers at all grade levels, specifically because you can even find your grade level from pre-K to 12. So it not only contains lesson plan suggestions, but also online tools that your students can take advantage of. So this is NCTM's Illuminations, and thank you for listening.